In our discussion of the Maharal's approach to Tefillah, we talked till now about Avoda, about Shemona Esrei, and the Maharal, in a sense, is going a little bit in reverse order, and we're going to discuss Kriat Shema, the way the Maharal talks about it in the Siv HaAvoda. Says the Maharal, Mitzvah is Kriat Shema. The mitzvah is Kriat Shema. Tzivui Hashem Yisborach liyachid Shmo arvis v'shachris. Hashem commanded us to be miyachid Shmo, to unify His name. We're going to explain what this means. Arvis v'shachris, in the evening and in the morning. Kikach mechuyav. This is what is required and this is what is needed. Explains the Maharal the following approach. First, we need to talk about what it means, arvis v'shachris. In the Torah, the first time we meet evening and morning, it's Vayhi Erev, Vayhi Boker. It's the Erev, it's the evening, and Boker, it's the morning. What do these words actually mean? So the word Erev comes from the word ta'aroves, something which is mixed up, something which is unclear, something which is a mixture. The word Erev comes from a time when you look at the world and you see it in a cloudy, unclear fashion. It's not easy to be able to see what the world is. Boker, morning, comes the word levaker. Now, the word levaker is translated in modern Hebrew as to visit. Bikur cholim is translated as visiting the sick. However, my Rebbe, Ramesh Shapiro Zatzal, would always become extremely upset at such a translation. Say the word levaker doesn't mean to visit the sick. As David HaMelech says in Tehillim, Acha sho'alti me'es Hashem. One thing I requested from Hashem. Shivti bebeis Hashem kol yemei chayai. To dwell in the house of Hashem my entire life. Ulevaker beheicholo. Was David HaMelech saying, I just want to visit the heichol, the sanctuary of Hashem? Is that what David was saying? The word levaker is found in Chumash, in the word bikoret tihiyeh. The word bikoret means to examine something clearly. Bikur cholim means not just to go and visit the sick, which is a very nice thing to do, but it really means to examine what the patient needs. Now, we're not doctors, and in a sense it might even be difficult for us to do such a thing, to involve ourselves in the care of the patient and making suggestions. But one who can do that, that's the mitzvah of bikur cholim. One who can't do that still, what does the patient need? What do they need emotionally? What do they need spiritually? What do they need to support them? What will make them happier? And therefore they'll be able to have an easier recovery. The word boker means to examine something and be able to see it clearly. If the Erev, which as it says in the beginning of Bereshis, is a time of lack of clarity, the boker is we go through the evening, we go through the night, and then comes boker, the dawn arises, and then it's all clear. Then we can see things clearly. That's why in Kriat Shema itself, there are two mitzvahs. One in the evening in the time of Erev, one in the morning in the time of Boker. We see this in the davening of Kriat Shema itself. Because after we finish saying Kriat Shema, Shema, V'ahavta, V'hayam Shemoah, and then the parsha of Tzitzis, we say Hashem Elokechem Emes. And then we continue. In the morning we say Hashem Elokechem Emes v'yatziv v'nachon v'kayam v'yashar. It's yatziv, it's established. Nachon, it's correct. V'kayam, it exists. V'yashar, it's straight. We keep on praising HaKadosh Baruch Hu, 15 different praises. In the evening we say Hashem Elokechem Emes v'emunah kol zot. It's emunah, it's faith. If that's the proper translation of emunah, which is another discussion. The difference is in the morning we see v'yatziv v'nachon v'kayam v'yashar. In the evening when it's dark and it's unclear, as the Mesilas Yesharim says, darkness not only doesn't allow you to see things, darkness even confuses you. Even more so in the time of Erev, in the time of twilight. As the Mesilas Yesharim writes, you see a shadow and you don't know whether it's a branch waving in the darkness or it's some kind of animal or creature coming to attack you in the forest. You need emunah, you need faith. It's not so easy to see HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the darkness. In the metaphor of Chazal, the darkness is the time of Golus. In the time of Golus, it's hard to see Hashem. So therefore we have two mitzvos of Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. To be mekabel, to accept Ol Malchus Shemayim. The yoke of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's kingdom. To accept that, there are two different ways to do it. One is in Arvis, one is in the evening, and one is in Shachris, one is in the morning. And that's why we need to be Mekabel Ol Malchus Shemayim, to say Kriat Shema at these two different times. Says the Maharal, in his way of explaining it, Ki b'layla in the evening, behedera or, when light is lacking, kol nivram kilu yesh b'hem heder. Everything seems to be lacking. V'hu choshech, and this is darkness. The word choshech comes from the word lachshoch mimeni, to hold something back. That's one kind of Kriat Shema. V'oz yesh liyachid shmo. You have to unify the name of Hashem. And then he says, and in the morning, uvayom kol nimtza, everything is there. Ulekach yesh liyachid shmo gamkein. You also need to unify his name there also. Let's explain what this has to do with Hashem Echad. The Hashem Echad means to unify the name of Hashem. What does that mean, to unify the name of Hashem? To say that Hashem is one. Okay, Hashem is one. I'm one. You're one. Even if you're an identical twin, you're still two individual, unique people. There's one Mona Lisa. There's one. What does it mean Hashem is one? The answer seems to be it's not that Hashem is one. It's that Hashem is a unity. Hashem is a complete, self-contained, all-containing entity, which there's no other word to use, from within which everything else devolves. And Hashem is the true unity and one of everything in the world. That's Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. We're recognizing this unity of Hashem as the basis upon which everything exists. Says the Maharal, there are two ways of seeing this Echad. In the two states within which the world exists. There's one state where the world exists of He'eder, of Choshech, of things seeming to be lacking. A person looks at the world from one perspective and sees all of the lack in the world, all of the incompleteness in the world, all the lack of clarity that exists in the world. And therefore says the Maharal, B'layla b'hedera or, kol nivram kilu yesh b'hem heder. Everything seems to be incomplete. Person looks at the world in darkness, everything is incomplete. Human beings are fallible, they don't live forever, they're not well, things don't seem to reach their completion, processes don't seem to work. Everything seems to be choshech, to be held back from reaching its completion. And then says the Maharal, yesh liyachid shmo kuhu yisbarach mitzad hazeh shekulam yesh b'hem heder k'mo shemoreh halayla v'hu kayam l'kachu echad. When you look at the world, you say, everything seems to be lacking. And then you say, but Hashem is echad. Hashem is a unity. In the language of the Maharal, the reason why things aren't perfect is because they're not a complete unity. They're not complete. Something that's complete, that doesn't need anything outside of itself. It's not a taroves, it's not mixed up with anything else. There's no way by which it can fall apart. Things disintegrate into their component parts. Something that doesn't have any component part can't disintegrate. If one thinks about the word atom, atom in Greek means something that's indivisible. If you have, it's the smallest unit of something that can't be taken apart any further. If I have something made out of iron, I can break it down and break it down and break it down. I keep on breaking down at a certain point. I have one atom of iron, and it can't be broken down any further. Now, I'm aware in nuclear physics you can break it down into protons and neutrons and electrons, but somewhere, someplace, there's that basic building block which can't be broken any further. That's what theoretically is true. So therefore there is that unit which is complete echad. When you look at a world which is not complete, you say, well, if the world's not complete, where did it come from? There had to be some source which was a unity from which everything else came. So a person looks at the world in the time of he'eder. A person looks at the world in the time of lack of completion, lack of completeness, in the time of choshech, of darkness, and says there needs to be an echad. There needs to be a unity, there needs to be a unit, some completeness from which this all came. It can't just be that everything is going to fall apart. Therefore, a person says, Shema, you look at all of this, and a person says, Shema Yisrael, Hashem Elokeinu, Hashem Echad. There's that unity. That's what you say at night. And then you come to the morning. And the morning, everything seems to be good, hopefully. Right? That's when a person looks at the day on a theoretical way. A person looks at the day and says, everything is good. right? Everything is clear. It's boker. So everything seems to exist on its own. The day everything is going fine. When a person looks at a world where everything is fine, a person says, okay, everything's good. Everything is complete. Everything seems to be its own unity. And therefore, in the day, says the Maharal, Ki game ito nimsa kol kamoshe be'erev, elav ne'esav v'kol nimsar biyado, shneimar biyodcho afkid ruchi. In the boker, you say all the things that seem to exist on their own, and everything is fine, and everything is good, and everything, kochi v'yotzim yadi, right? I'm accomplishing everything, everything's under control. Person would say, wait a minute, everything here comes from Hashem. Hashem is, as much as there seem to be things that are complete on their own and don't seem to need anything else, they're perfect. You have to say no. In that kind of existence, the one of Hashem is from which everything else exists. It looks like everything stands on its own in a time of boker, in a time of completion, in a time of clarity. But understand, even then, it's also needs the unity of Hashem from which all those other things that seem to be unified come from, and they exist from there. So therefore we need to say Kriat Shema twice a day. When we look at the world in a way where everything is incomplete and say everything's incomplete, where does it come? If the whole world is incomplete, whoever created it or brought it into being or wherever it came from is also incomplete. There's no perfection in the world. So we say no. There's Hashem who's echad. Where the fact that we see the world as incomplete, that we have to understand. But there's Hashem echad. And then there's the other way of saying Hashem echad. We look at the world and say, look, everything's echad. I got everything under control. The world has everything under control. Look, everything's working, everything's fine, it's nice, it's bright out. I see everything the way it is. Say, no, Hashem's echad. Hashem is the echad. Everything's only like that because that's the way Hashem created. And therefore we have to be miyached Hashem in the evening and biyached Hashem again in the morning to recognize these two concepts.